Honourable Prime Minister, you might be aware, I'm pretty sure you are aware, Mr. Lasantha Wickramatunge's daughter has written to you a letter. I have that letter, a copy of it. It's quite a damning letter. It calls for the impeachment of the Attorney General for gross abuse of power and gross neglect of duty. The letter is a 4-page letter, and it is actually quite shocking, the matters that she raises. Now, I think your government has repeatedly come on record saying that the Attorney General's department is an independent institution, that there should be no interference with regards to decisions being made by it. But here, when a victim's family is actually causing false aspersions on the very head of that institution with regards to that individual's conduct, I think it is a very important instance when the government must, in fact, in some way intervene. And since this letter is addressed to you and also copied to the Honourable Justice Minister, I wish to find out whether the Honourable Prime Minister has something in mind with regards to this matter. Yes,
Honourable Prime Minister, if you want to respond.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. Yes, Honourable Member, I have received the letter and I am planning to respond to that letter to Ms. Wickramatunge personally, since she has sent it to me. Our government's position on this case is very clear. We intend to seek justice for the murder of Lasantha Wickramatunge. That has been our position in the past, and that continues to be our position currently as well. I well understand Ahimsa's concerns and the agony she must be feeling right now. But I want to assure her, and I will assure her, that we will do everything in our power to make sure that justice is delivered on this matter. With regard to as you know, we are doing our very best to follow due process, to give the Attorney General's office that independence, but justice has to be served. That is also the responsibility of our government, to ensure that justice is served. And we have had extensive discussions. The President met with those involved to try and see what can be done. If necessary, we will refile whatever inquiries, initiate new inquiries, take every step possible to gather new evidence. Because if the question is about lack of evidence, this is a case that has plenty of evidence. There have been many people involved in this case who have worked hard on this case, and if necessary, we will file new cases. We will do everything that we can to make sure that this case receives justice and that Ahimsa's concerns are addressed.
We are being reassured in some way, but yet, when I see the newspapers, the response by the Attorney General's Department, as it has been reported, it relates to a very puerile argument relating to a mistake, or rather a lapse in the identification parade. And that prompted the release or rather proceeding with a nolle prosequi, withdrawing indictment against, or decision charge sheet against the so-called suspects, is a very, very funny thing. And this prosecutor discussion, your own government...
Start your future after O-levels. Join IIT. Register now.
Sri Lanka Insurance Life. Like a father, like a mother.
In your manifesto, in your electoral election propaganda, made it very clear that you will establish a independent prosecutor's office instead of the Attorney General handling these matters directly. Therefore, with this new matter coming up, we feel the prosecutorial discretion of the Attorney General's Department is being used willy-nilly to free selected people for other political purposes, other extraneous reasons. I'm sorry to say this, our Attorney General's Department has very, very good officers, very high-ranking good officers, very conscientious officers, and it is also being hampered by serious lack of personnel. You have to recruit more officers. These issues are there. But then this type of lapse, which regarding a high-profile case of this nature, is a very serious matter, and therefore on behalf of the opposition, I now give notice, provided that the business committee, we are not part of the business committee, we want a full-day debate on this particular issue, so that this matter should be fully thrashed out, so that this
Honourable
matter
Rauff, Hakeem,
should never recur again.
I think you have made yourself clear.
Honourable Deputy Speaker, once again let me reiterate the fact that we are determined to seek justice is meted out to this family. In fact, Honourable Member, I felt that the letter that Ms. Ahimsa Wickramatunge had sent to me was also extremely measured given the circumstances and given what this family has had to endure for these past I don't know how many years. So we are very determined, because at the end of the day, the purpose of having a judicial system, the Attorney General's office, all of these institutions is to deliver justice. And if procedures come in the way of delivering justice, then we need to re-examine those procedures. We have taken several actions. We are expecting the Attorney General to take some action today as well. This is something we are closely monitoring. As I said, we are definitely looking into whether we can initiate fresh indictments on this case. We will do everything that is within our power. Also, let us not forget that the Attorney General's Department and related institutions, even though there are good officers with good intentions, have got used to a particular way of working, have worked within a particular culture that also needs to change. That takes time, but taking time doesn't mean that victims can wait forever for answers. So this is something that is very sensitive, of which we are very aware, and we will do what we can. Honourable Member, we are ready to allocate a full day to debate on this issue, because we also agree this is extremely important. This is extremely important. මේක හරිම වැදගත් කාරණයක්. මුළු රටේම යුක්තිය බලාපොරොත්තුවෙන් ඉන්න ජනතාව මේක දිහා බලාගෙන ඉන්නවා. අපේ රජයේ බලාපොරොත්තු වෙච්ච ඒ යුක්තිය සාධාරණය ඉෂ්ට වෙන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා බලාගෙන ඉන්න ජනතාවට මේ සිද්ධ වෙමින් යන එක හරිම සංවේදී. ඒ නිසා අපි දවසක දිනයක් මේ පිළිබඳ විවාදයක් කරන්න අපි සූදානම් කියන එකත් මතක් කරමින් මේ පිළිබඳව අපි ඉතාමත්ම අවධානයෙන් නැවත වතාවක් ඇටර්නි ජෙනරල්ස් ඩිපාර්ට්මන්ට් එක අර දේශපාලනික ග්‍රහණයටම ලක් නොකර ඒත් ආණ්ඩුවක් වශයෙන් යුක්තිය හා සාධාරණය ඉෂ්ට වෙන්න වැඩ කිරීම පිළිබඳව අපි අවධානයෙන් සහ එවෙනුවෙන් කටයුතු කරනවා කියන එක මම මතක් කරමි. Thank you for the time.